grade in Miss Reiser's class. What is their name?
My name is Thomas Morgan.
What college did you went to?
I went to undergrad school at the United States Military Academy at West Point, and I went to graduate school at Harvard Business School in Boston.
Which person inspired you?
There were a couple people that inspired me. First was my father, who was a command sergeant major in the United States Army. I also was inspired by my second grade teacher, Mrs. Cooper, at Terrace Hills Elementary School in El Paso, Texas.
What were your goals?
Well, my goals initially coming out of high school was to finish college, was to go into the military and be a career military officer in the United States Army. I did that for 5 years, and I decided I wanted to try my hand at the business world, which I was motivated to do as well, and I decided to go to Harvard Business School and start a career in financial services, and that's what I do now.
Is there a teacher who you remember?
Yeah, the teacher that I remember the most was my second grade teacher at Terrace Hills Elementary School. Her name was Mrs. Cooper, and I remember her because she was very hard on me, and one anecdotal story that will crystallize how important it is she was in my life. We read a story once about a rabbit with the hiccups, and she made me stay after school for a week until I could figure out why the rabbit got rid of his hiccups. And I cried in the corner for a week because I didn't know how the rabbit got rid of the hiccups. And finally, the last day, it was a Friday, I figured it out. And she didn't tell me the answer, I figured out the answer. And the answer was, the rabbit drank some water. And because she made me stay after school for a week until I figured it out myself, that was really one of the most inspirational things that helped me get through, whether it's college, undergrad, grad school, and even now in business.
What did you want to be when you were young?
When I was young, I wanted to be a football player and a professional football player. So I played football in high school, I played football in college, but I didn't play professional football.
If you could do something else, what would you do and why?
If I could do something else, what would I do and why? That's a great question. If I could do something else, I would be a park ranger. And the reason I would be a park ranger, that's another thing I really wanted to be when I was growing up. We used to read little books called Ranger Rick, and it was all about park rangers and taking care of animals, being outdoors and doing things that I thought were really fun. So being a forest ranger would be something I would do now if I was to change careers.
Do you get support at home?
Oh, absolutely. My mom and dad were instrumental in providing me with guidance, with discipline, with support when I needed it, when I felt down, and also, they also were they were very disciplinary, like when I needed it. So, support from home comes in a lot of different ways, but without the love, the nurturing, and the discipline, I certainly wouldn't be where I am today.
How do you feel about life right now?
How do I feel about life right now? Well, I'm very blessed. I have two wonderful children. Both have graduated from college. Well, actually, one has graduated. My oldest, Michael Morgan, has graduated from college. He went to Hardin-Simmons University in Abilene. He graduated there with a marketing and a business degree. Now he's working for an oil and gas company in Denver, and he's been very successful. He's been out 4 years. And his sister, my youngest, Jasmine Morgan, went to LSU for 2 years on scholarship and decided that she wanted a little more of a challenge. And now she's at West Point. She is a junior at West Point, and she's doing very well there. She just figured out she's going to be a brigade adjutant for her senior year, which is a very high position at West Point. So I'm very blessed. I've been fortunate in my life to have served in the military. I flew helicopters in the military. I flew Hueys, I flew 58s, I flew Cobras, and I flew Apaches. So I got to live my dreams of being a pilot. I was a company commander down at Fort Hood. I was a general's aide in Korea. I did a lot of really fun things, and now I run a investment management business with a team of 6 people that I truly love. So I love what I do. I love my family, and I've been very blessed. So yeah, I like where I am in life today.
How do you feel when you went to college?
How did I feel when I went to college? That's another good question. I felt lost. I was afraid. I was apprehensive. I graduated pretty high in my class. I was probably number 12 or 13 in my class of about 250 kids in El Paso. I grew up in El Paso, Texas. And I got accepted to West Point, or the United States Military Academy. And so I was very challenged there because I went there by myself. My parents were in Germany because my dad was in the military as well. So I had no support network. I was by myself. It was very hard academically. But I pulled through. I played football there. I got into activities. I went to church. I did all those things that I did at home. So the things that helped me get through that apprehensive time when I was out of my home was my faith, my family, and my friends. And you put all those things together, and life can be a wonderful place. So yeah, I felt scared, but I relied on faith, family, and friends to help me get through a very difficult time in my life.
We're done.
Okay. Thank you very much. You did a good job.